Please rise, remove your hats for O Canada.
Let's get ready to rumble indeed, folks. Sunday matinee. Last night's game was a barn burner, of course. Intense throughout. Social Mustangs climbing to a 2-0 lead in that second period before the Islanders 3 goals in that second to take the lead into the third. Mustangs hot in the third. And Hunter McDonald is on the ice in the right wing right now. Won that game in overtime with just a minute remaining. Here we go. Off the draw, here come the Mustangs, dumping it into the corner. Chasing it down is Sam Trenham, who leads the Islanders' defense in points with 11 in 16 games thus far this season. As that one chased down by McCackern in the corner. Turns and makes his way up neutral ice, hounded there on space and time effect there as that one taken away by the Mustangs, looking to dance through. And Will Chisholm with a hard hit there and just inside the blue line. McDonald retrieves it and fires out a saucer attempt there for Chisholm, and it was past him. He didn't get a stick on it. And that'll be our first icing call of the game, which will go against the Islanders. They take the faceoff all the way back into their zone. This first period brought to you by Superline Fuels. Worry-free home heating, oil and propane delivered proudly by local experts. Comforting your family is our priority at Superline Fuels. Face-off in the offensive zone here. McDonald on the tie-up trying to get a hold of it. Is that one taken now by the Mustangs. McMullen moves it across to Rogers on defense. Rogers had 3 helpers in yesterday's matchup. An assist on each of the Mustangs' goal. His point totals at 6 on the season, with the lead defenseman on the team of the South Shore Mustangs. As that one rimmed around by Lucas Chisholm. A touch pass for Will Chisholm. Off the boards to Carson McCackern as he backhands it off to Hunter McDonald. Sweeping into the zone and going for a full line change on the Islanders here. As the Mustangs look to set things up behind their own goal. McMullen on it. Moves it up to neutral ice. Hard hit by Davidson there. Knocks his man to the ice. Fleet with a nice move inside. Fleet gets free. Shoots and he sails it over the goal. Off the shoulder of the goaltender Fronten and into the netting. And Nolan Fronten with a stellar performance last night as the Islanders more than doubled them up in shots. Nolan Fronten, an incredible performance in that contest, keeping the Islanders from winning in regulation. At least a moral victory for the Mustangs, as they were outchanced throughout that contest and ended up taking the game to overtime to at least get that point on what has been a difficult start to the season for them at last place with a record of 1-14-2. They'll have a chance here with some confidence and spring in their step, hopefully in this game for them and their fan base. But the Islanders right away getting started on the offense again. Looking to climb to an early lead. Is that one pass in front to Fleet? And Fleet, of course, always keen to pull the trigger on the shots. As one stage earlier in the season, he had back-to-back home game hat tricks, as he really likes to play in this building, that's for sure. As McCackern moves it up the ice to Davidson. Davidson moves it across, open side, but nobody was there as Fleet was on the left-hand side waiting for a chip ahead. And out behind the play, there's a penalty being called, our first of the game. And it looks like it's going to go against the Mustangs. And it's a holding call. And so this opening power play brought to you by Zutphen Contractors is going to go to the hometown Cape Breton West Islanders. as they'll have a chance of a man advantage here in the offensive zone. 2 minutes on the clock for the penalty, as Aiden McDonald takes his place at the face-off dot. That one dumped all the way down by the Mustangs to help kill some time. John Hugh McGinnis sweeps it to Forrence, who covers it up long enough for the official to blow the whistle, although it looked like Forrence wanted to play that puck. Not able to do so in time, as this will force a defensive zone draw for the power play team. Lynch on the draw. Leo Forrence this time getting the start in goal. It was Jack Bell yesterday. The Islanders equally confident in both their netminders here as Watt behind the goal drops it off for John Hugh McGinnis. Across to Watt. Lex Watt down the left wing side. Stopped up by Rogers defensively, and he fires it down. Forrence behind the goal, stops it up. Pressure defensively, or offensively rather. He sweeps it with a spinorama backhand pass as Aiden McDonald down the wing. Backhand feed in front, and a great shot there by Jack McGinnis on the rush. And a great pad save there by Fronten. So up in front of shot. Oh, great save there with the shoulder. Diving out was Fronten again. Wasting no time to get his body moving in this game, and the Islanders are making it easy for him with quite a few offensive chances thus far. All the more easier on the power play. A minute remaining in that bid, as taken up by Carson McCacken down the wing, chips it into the zone and chases it down. McCacken behind the goal with speed. Turns and fires it to Trenum on the point. Trenum moves it across. Here's the chance, a shot from Chisholm, and that one goes wide. As McGinnis tries to get a stick on that. That one finds the netting off a chop play. And we'll have another face-off to ensue here in the offensive zone. McCacken on the draw. Draw one clean to Lucas Chisholm, onto the point to Trenum. Lucas Chisholm in the left wing position. Carson McCacken on the point, the forward on the point. Number 18 fires a shot through distance off the goalpost. It found a seam, but couldn't beat the iron as that one off the boards. McCacken unable to hold the line. He's looked to be caught up there, and Trenum there to save him on that positional play. As here comes McCacken through neutral ice. Drops it off. Trenum. Shot there, blocker aside, and that one goes over the net and into the corner. A quick shot past the stick of Trenum, who tried to chop it out of the air all the way down. Just 8 seconds remaining in the man advantage for the Islanders as the Mustangs look to kill this one off, and it seems that they're going to, as here comes Hunter McDonald up the neutral ice. Blocked off there. Sam Trenum picks it up. He makes a move and fires it into the stands for a stoppage in play. So we'll go back to neutral ice just outside the Islanders zone for this face-off. As the captain Hookshorst is back on the ice up against Doyle. Hookshorst wins the draw clean. Ellis out with possession now. Moves it up to McDonald. Here come the Mustangs. Doyle's in the center of the ice waiting for the pass as number 16 comes down the wing with it. I believe that's Landry, Morgan Landry. That one dumped in the corner. Ellis has to chase it down. Jonah Ellis. Will Chisholm. 16. Hookshorst got it to McDonald, who saucers a pass through the seam to McNeil, who hops over a stick in front of the net, and that one goes wide as it was a loose puck available there in the high percentage area. Great play there by Ellis to kick it to his stick and into the corner. Looking like a soccer player on that play with the quick skate move there as that's stopped up by Ellis on the point. Nice shimmy and shake to get by. Ellis a shot up, blocker to side. Right to a nice area to be picked up by the forwards there as Fronten got the angle right. Nice move there, but unable to get past McCacken, who took the body on his man in front. Another shot, gloved down by Forrence, his first test of the contest. Gets the whistle for his team, and a line change to ensue for the Islanders. McDonald on the draw. McDonald against McDonald as Perry moves out in the corner. McCacken around behind for John Hugh McGinnis. Outlet play looking to spring Fleet in action. He chips it by the defense and chases it down. Up against Broughton. Quick play by the goaltender under pressure. And a gutsy play by him to advance it. And here could cash in as here come the Mustangs. Quick shot by Chu, deflected into the netting by McCacken. In this era, when goaltenders are so good at playing the puck, you wonder if there's a marked difference in the amount of assists that goaltenders in these eras have accumulated versus in the older time hockey. Get me a statistician on the phone to review that theory of mine. Is that one taken in the corner? Davidson trying to get a loose puck. Trentham can't hold the line. He uses to skate backwards and get the defensive position as here come the Mustangs with speed. Davidson picks his pocket. Oh, a hard hit on Davidson in neutral ice, but he got the puck to Fleet. Fleet down the wing, drags and shoots, and he couldn't get it by the defense. Gutsy blocked there by number 6 on the blue line for the Mustangs. That's moved on to the right wing side. Rogers with a spinorama, lost the puck in his feet, but he gets it back. Islanders looking for an offside call. They're not going to get it. Is that one in the corner? LeBlanc spins it in front on the backhand. That went through everybody, and Rogers trying to pick it up on the wing. Spinning, trying to get past McCacken. Or McDonald, rather. And that's a play by Kieran McDonald as he picks up the puck. Mustangs fans looking for a tripping call on Aiden McDonald there. They're not going to get it as that moved into the corner onto the point to Trentham. Trentham a shot, looking for a tip from Watt, and he couldn't get a stick on it. Here they come again in the corner. Bank play there. It's loose in front. Still loose. They bang away. Broughton down, and he's got it covered. Close call in the early goings here as pushing and shoving at the side of the Mustangs goal as things get chippy here early in the first. And once again, Islanders looking to press on the goaltender of Broughton, who battled his way through that first contest with more than a few physical skirmishes with the Islanders forwards in the goal crease, always walking the line with the aggression. As that shot to a screen was gloved down as well by Broughton. He gets another whistle here. McCacken on the draw. That one won. Carson McCacken rather moves it across. Trentham on the hold of it. On the point, looking for a screenshot. Loose in front of the net, unable to pull the trigger. Here's a spin move and a shot. Knocked to the ice was Watt on the follow through. Off the boards on the near side, picked up by Trentham on the point. Winds and shoots. Save made by Broughton with the glove, and he covers it. Holds on. Well, full line change for both teams here as we get set for this offensive zone draw. Hook short on the draw in the offensive zone. Picked up by McGinnis onto the point to Ellis. He shovels it into the corner. Doyle on the reception defensively trying to get a hold of that puck, but Hookshorst picks his pocket. Hookshorst onto the point. Picks it up, try to make a move there, unable to get a shot away. McGinnis on the follow through, couldn't pull the trigger. That was partially blocked as that escapes the defense, and Ellis has to backtrack as he gains possession. Ellis pressured defensively, slides it ahead, looking to spring Jake McGinnis, but he was unable to receive that pass, and that'll be an icing call here against the Islanders. The Islanders unable to get a change here as they've iced the puck. Fresh legs on the ice for the Mustangs. They'll look to take advantage here with a quick draw win in the offensive zone. Ewan McDonald on the draw. Tie up on the wall, picked up by Ellis. Ellis, outlet play for Jake McGinnis. He makes a simple play, chipping it towards the goal. A funny hop, and a nervous one there for Broughton as Jake McGinnis got into the grill of Broughton. It looks like he's going to be called on the play. And so the first power play to go to the Mustangs here in this contest is that one, a misconduct penalty, or unsportsmanlike rather, to McGinnis. As this power play brought to you by Ideal Concrete. As the Islanders down a man here near the halfway point of the first frame. And so the first power play unit on the ice here for the Mustangs. Doyle on the draw, off the glass. Held at the point there by Rogers, unable to keep it alive. As that one taken in by the Mustangs off the near side. McDonald picks it up. Backtracks as he was pressured. Moves it ahead on the right wing side. Looking to reset. Rogers turns, doesn't like his options. Finds his other man there at the center ice area. Moved across to LeBlanc. LeBlanc had that game-tying goal in the third period of play in last night's game to put some silence into the Al McGuinness crowd and get some tension in the air. And that would be the goal that would eventually force overtime. LeBlanc making a move. One-hands it. Unable to get a clean zone entry just yet as the Islanders cutting down those passing lanes. Here comes Rogers. Shooting down. Shot there, deflected wide. A tough one to read there for Forrence in goal, but Rogers on the point, trying to keep it alive. Fired down the ice by McNeil. As that one stopped up by front behind its own goal. Pressured by Fleet. Is the only man in the offensive zone at the moment. Chu off the bench. Gets back into the play. Holds on to it behind his own goal. Pressured by McDonald. Chu. Gained some speed. Almost knocked off the puck there. And that play is going to be called here. And it's an interference call on Chu, it looks like, from that play. And Chu a little confused as to the call here, but either way, we're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey, so the power play is nullified. And Chu had knocked the stick into the air into the corner, and McDonald on the draw, clean win to McCacker, unable to pull the trigger. He was pressured there on the position. Is that one taken away now by Hartland? Nice move to the inside. Hartland to the goal, back in, shot, he scores! What a goal! Hartland opens the scoring for the Mustangs. Similar story as to the first game, as the Mustangs draw first blood again here, this time at the Sunday matinee with a beauty of a goal by Sam Hartland, number 15. Unbelievable goal that was. Hartland again looking for more. That one taken away by Chisholm. 4-on-4 goal, I should say, actually. I'm not sure if I said shorthanded there. I can't quite remember, but let's move across to Trenum now. Trenum across to McDonald. McDonald looking for a shimmy and shake. Hartland gets a hold of it. Moves it across. All the way down the ice here as Chisholm chases it down. And that's going to be an icing here as we're still on 4-on-4 hockey.
2 minutes for interference. TV timeout.
And we will commence with a TV timeout here before this face-off.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap.
And we're back for this face-off. In 2 short seconds, the Islanders will be back on the power play as Chu will remain in the box. And Jake McGuinness back onto the bench after that unsportsmanlike penalty as Lucas Chisholm chases it down. The Islanders on the power play for 1:12 here. As they get going. Trenum moving in. Tries to feed it in front to Chisholm. And that one on the near side wall picked up, looking to get the cycle play going here on the power play. Will Chisholm in the corner. Turns with it. Around the boards for McDonald, who stops up on the point. Moves it across for Trenum on the near side. Trenum. Drop for Chisholm. Down to McDonald. McDonald in front of the net, deflected wide by Davidson. Trenum with a hold of it. Finds Davidson, who tries to sweep it out front for a pass, and Ogden picks that up and clears. Chisholm. Chasing it down defensive end. Takes a tumble there. As Ellis turns with it now. Ellis. Tosses it across to McNeil, who picks that up. Cooper McNeil down the wing. Chips it past the defense. Moves in the corner. Checked and knocked to the ice, but he got it ahead. Ellis receives it on the point. Moves it across to McDonald. McDonald to McNeil. Stops up. Cooper McNeil, a shot. Looking for a deflection as Kieran McDonald got a deflection, but he stopped the puck in its velocity, and it just falls over to McDonald again. Sidewall goal, and that was Aiden McDonald that was, trying to find Kieran in front. And that one moved out to the neutral ice. LeBlanc trying to sweep it ahead for Landry. Picked up there by McNeil. Moves it ahead, chipped into the zone. We're back to even strength. 8:16 left here in the first. Landry on it. Off the wall and out to neutral ice. Picked up by Doyle in stride, but he's momentarily stopped up by McDonald, who goes for a line change. That one swept down the ice, stopped up by Fraughton. Fraughton drops it as the Mustangs defense look to clear. McDonald on the intercept, gets a hold of it. And Watt trying to put it to the point. McCacken trying to hold that line. Picked up by Bain, Carter Bain. Points leader for the Mustangs with 15 in 17 games played. Picked up by Watt. Watt turns. Drops it off, looking for Kieran McDonald, who's still on the ice and creating all kinds of havoc in that Mustangs end as Perry moves ahead with it. Down into the corner it goes. McGinnis behind the goal. Sweeps it around on the far side. Against the grain. Picked up there by Chu. Tries to dump it in. McDonald. Thomas McCacken on the near side. Funny hop off the glass and almost went in the reverse direction as it was entered from. Is that one taken here by McCacken? Swept aside for Trenum behind the goal off the near side wall. Picked up by McGinnis in stride. Jake McGinnis loses control of the puck. It goes into the corner. Shoots it in front on the deflection. Knocked down by Fraughton. Loose in front. Still loose, and they bang away. Fraughton finally able to cover for the whistle. As the Islanders, once again in this first period, as with last game in the early going, struggling to find those clear lanes in that center of the ice in the offensive zone to try to penetrate the Mustangs defense and get those clear-cut chances where they can have a chance at beating Fraughton. They changed that strategy up around the second and third periods, preferring shots on the outside with traffic in front. That proved to be successful for them. But once again, trying to set things up. You have to be able to score in multiple ways in this game. And as always, game to game, teams adapt to the opposition's strategies and change up their own defensive strategies to boot. So you always have to be able to think on your feet within the structure. As that one moved into the corner for McGinnis, off the wall. Find Hookshorst in the corner. Hookshorst to McGinnis. Off the wall. Looking to spring Trenum on the point, but that one taken aside. McGinnis tries to clear again. Finally get it into the zone for an attempt to establish another forecheck here. Is that one off the wall? Picked up out to neutral ice. McGinnis with possession once again. Finds Trenum. Sam Trenum hops over his stick with a funny hop, and that taken here by Hartland, the goal scorer, trying to make another move there in the offensive zone. McGinnis off the wall to Ellis. Jonah Ellis. Makes a nice move at his own end. Slides it across, and Jack McGinnis dumps that in onto the stick of Fraughton as he gets it to the defense. Outlet play to neutral ice. Picked up by Rogers trying to clear. He's knocked to the ice with some gusto by Jonah Ellis. As that one cleared ahead to McNeil. McNeil ahead. Here's the chance. McDonald in, and he can't get it past Fraughton with a beauty of a save. As McDonald looked to make that move, all that play started. All from that big body check from Jonah Ellis. A hit on one end leads to a high quality scoring chance for the game winner, Hunter McDonald, of last game, as he was in the clear once again, and Broughton there had his number on that play. It's amazing how a big body check can really change the play within those moments, as Ellis once again showing his physical prowess, which has been one of his big improvements as a defenseman from last season. Much more confident to throw the body around this season, as he looks at least 10% bigger than he was last season, and he's at least 25% meaner. As that one out to neutralize, here come the Mustangs. LeBlanc chips it ahead. Will Chisholm looking to chase it down. Behind for Jonah Ellis. Off the boards to Will Chisholm. Chisholm down for McDonald. Hunter McDonald in the corner. Body check by Chu, but he stays on his feet. Puck worked free to Ellis. On to the point. Quick shot by McNeil all the way through. Knocked down by Broughton. He cleared it, but he gave it away to McDonald. Off the wall to the point. Moved across to Ellis. Ellis a shot, and that one off the stick of Will Chisholm. Gives a couple of chops trying to get the puck away, but unable to do so as the Mustangs clear. McNeil has to chase it down. Hard outlet around the wall. Picked up by McDonald, who finds Aiden McDonald. Aiden McDonald on the wing. Nice move to the inside. McDonald, a backhand shot and a weak one. But Broughton able to fight it off and hold on. Those ones are hard to read for a goaltender when the players don't get the full wood on it. Half speeder can mix up the timing and response of the goaltender significantly. As in these modern games, there's not many shots that are taken that aren't full velocity. And those half speeders can really throw you off. Ogden on it. Chips it past the defense. Shooting it to the side. Bain on it behind the goal. Drops it off. Looking to bank it in there off of Forrence, but he fights it off and gets it to McCackern. Thomas McCackern down the wing. Hard off the wall. Down the ice it goes. Icing waved off as that one looking to clear there was Broughton. Unable to do so. Gets it again. Broughton confident with the playing of the puck there. Gave it away to Fleet, however, who moves it to Carson McCackern. McCackern to Fleet. Fleet drags and shoots. Save made. Fought off by Broughton. A rebound in front. Chance for Davidson, who dove at that one. And McGinnis on the point keeps it alive for the Islanders. Trying to continue the cycle here. That's Fleet unable to pinch on the backboards to hold that puck in his possession as McGinnis. A hopping, jumping puck that was taken by Carter Bain. McGinnis fights him off and gains possession as McCackern picks it up. McCackern skating down, holds on, skate the stick, drops it to Davidson. Davidson with a move, cycles it to McCackern. Davidson knocked off by Bain there. As that's going to be called, likely a boarding call here, coming up against the Mustangs on that hit to Davidson. Trenum on the point. Quick shot there. Stick by Hartland into the corner. Doyle looking to touch up. He gives a hard body check to Chisholm. And my mistake, not going to be a boarding call. It's going to be a tripping call on the play. This is why I'm on the microphone and not in those uniforms, folks. You can't make assumptions in this game, and you guys know the slogan for that. I'm not going to say it on the air. Hook Shorts on the draw for the power play. As this power play brought to you by Ideal Concrete, the Islanders. Hook Shorts on the draw. McDonald on the puck here, trying to get a hold of it. It is Hook Shorts. He gains possession. Hook Shorts on to the point. Gets it back in a give and go. Slide across to Trenum, unable to pull the trigger. Another shot. That one blocked. A diving block, and once again the Mustangs keen to dive in front of any chance to dive in front of that puck and block a shot. Make life a little easier for Broughton as that one on the side. Watt. Back to the backhand, back to the forehand on to Trenum. Trenum on the point across. Chisholm trying to feed Watt on the passing play, and that one touched up. And the Islanders now, and a collision there with the goaltender Broughton. That draws a crowd and a skirmish in front. Things getting a little out of hand early in this contest. As likely some more calls and not just the one that happened behind the goal as Kieran McDonald colliding with goaltender Broughton. And it's just going to be Kieran McDonald on the penalty here, so we're going to have some 4-on-4 hockey here, folks, for a minute 24. So penalty mitigated for the Islanders here. They'll be back to 4-on-4 hockey, in which that opening goal for the Mustangs was scored. With that little extra time and space, creates a lot of opportunities to get speed on the rush as Aiden McDonald turns behind his own goal. Working through neutral ice, dumps it into the corner. A funny bounce off of the blocker of Frotton. Onto the wall, Hunter McDonald onto the point. Give and go with McNeil as McDonald picks that up. Off the backboards into the corner. Ewan McDonald picking it up for the Mustangs, looking to clear. Stops up. Looking to set the play up here, 4-on-4 hockey, so nice move by McDonald. Skates wide. Holds on to it, gets a check from McNeil, but stays on his feet. Is that one taken by McDonald? Aiden McDonald, outlet play for Hunter McDonald. Number 15 on his off wing. Moves to his backhand. Holds on, sweeps it in front, looking for Aiden McDonald. It's in his feet and taken away by the Mustangs as they look to clear. Dumping it into the corner and going for a line change is Ewan McDonald. Jonah Ellis in his own end. Outlet play picked off, but delayed offside. Is that one taken away by McNeil now as he drops it off for Chisholm, who headmans Fleet. Fleet holding on, drops it off to McCacken on the point. McCacken had another play there picked off by Doyle on that center of the ice pass. McCacken looking to clear, picked up by number 6, and he skates away for the Mustangs. Drops it off. Nice move to the outside. Onto the point, quick shot through a screen, gloved down by Florence, and he gets the whistle. .53 seconds remaining in the opening frame. Already the Islanders putting much more volume towards Frotton in this first period, as they're doing a lot better job of getting shots through that defensive collapse and shot blocking attempts of the Mustangs. Not without the effort of the boys in blue, however, as once again strategies being adjusted game to game to try to gain an advantage. Islanders keen to improve on that aspect, give themselves more chances to score in this contest. As that one off the pad save of Florence, chipped ahead by Will Chisholm, and LeBlanc has to chase it down for the Mustangs. Off the glass, down, Aldgren picks it up, tries to find the open man, but nobody was there. McCacken fires it down the ice. 16 seconds to go. That's going to be the icing call here. Ewan McDonald on the draw. Tied up there with Chisholm. He spins it around the boards. One last opportunity on the rush for the Islanders, but here they come. Nice move to the outside by McGinnis. Down the wing, quick shot, pad save at the horn by Frotton. So the Mustangs take a 1-0 lead into the second period of play as we move to first intermission. This intermission brought to you by Ron McGilvery, Chev Buick GMC. Whether you're looking for a new or a new-to-you vehicle, Ron McGilvery Chev Buick GMC has you covered. With a wide range of selection, amazing deals, knowledgeable and friendly staff that will get you into your dream vehicle. Visit Ron McGilvery Chev Buick GMC and Ron McGilvery Certified Pre-Owned Center at 75 St. Andrews Street in Antigonish, or call on 902-863-2803. That's 902-863-2803. Or shop online at rmggm.com. That's rmggm.com. The Islanders would also like to extend a thank you to Zuffin Contractors and Ideal Concrete for participating in their co-branding program. In addition to being a member of the Islanders sponsor team, they've also sponsored tracksuits for the 2025-26 coaching staff and players, and also a special thank you to Nova Trophy for providing the Islanders players and staff with Islanders hoodies this season. Well, stay tuned, folks. A one-goal contest heading into the second period. Coming at you back again live in a few moments. And both teams back on the ice here to start the second period of play. Shots were 18-6 in favor of the Islanders in that first period of play, tripling the totals of the Mustangs. And once again, Nolan Fraughton in goal has been stellar. This time in that first period, having to face many more volume of shots than he had to face in the first two periods combined by the Islanders last game. As the Islanders doing a lot better a job in this contest at getting pucks through to Fraughton, but he seems to have grown an extra skill level of gamesmanship in this contest to try to battle in that goal. As he's raised his game for this one, can the Islanders beat him here in the second, as they did in that first game yesterday, as they seem to open things up in that second period of play at that intermission adjustment and the pep talk from head coach Mike McDonald. Is that one taken here by Hunter McDonald in the corner. On the point, Trenham, a quick shot, pad saved by Fraughton. He fights it off, another shot by Chisholm, and another pad saved by Fraughton. If he sees it, he's going to stop it. The Islanders, once again, trying to look to go to that strategy they had in the second period of last game, getting bodies in front and taking away the eyes of Fraughton. As that one off a funny angle by McDonald, looking to catch Fraughton sleeping there. Quick shot there, blockered aside. Once again, putting volume towards the goal here in front. Taken away by Bain as he looks to skate it out. Carter Bain through neutral ice. Dumps it in off the stick of Forrence, and he covers as he had Bain pressuring him. This second period brought to you by West Nova Fuels. Worry-free home heating, oil and propane delivered proudly by local experts. Comforting your family is our priority at West Nova Fuels. Face off of the offensive zone for the Mustangs. Ewan McDonald on the draw. Islanders win the draw. Outlet play all the way to Davidson, springing him loose on a breakaway. Davidson in the goal, and unable to get the shot away as he collides with the boards behind the goal. Looking for a call on that play. I don't think he's going to get it, though. Is that one? Outlet play picked up by Rogers. Rogers skates down. Trying to find McDonald. He skates by. Putting it in front. Onto the point. Quick shot. Wrestled down by Forrence, and a crowd gathers in front as Ellis exchanges some pushing and shoving there. As the Mustangs looking to get their own aggression here in the offensive zone. And the risk comes again for Forrence, just as it did for Bell last game. In that offensive zone pressure by his team, the goalie can get cold in his own net, not getting warmed up enough. If the offensive pressure by his own squad is too much, makes those chances for the opposition all the more pressurizing. As you like to get some touches of the puck to get warmed up. As that one taken across. Islanders looking to continue their pressure as John Hugh McGinnis takes a hit from Rogers, but he got it in deep. And that collision with the board sounded a lot worse than it likely felt, as McGinnis looks none worse for the wear on that play. As Rogers, a big body for the Mustangs, he likes to throw it around as well. As that one taken by McDonald on the far side, looking to make a move on McCacker, and McCacker takes him for a ride to the boards, tries to get him off the puck. Fleet on it now. Taken off by Hartland. He's got the lone goal thus far in this game. Number 6 with a quick shot, patted aside into the corner by Forrence. Another shot from a sharp angle. Mustangs doing a good job here to try to up the offensive pressure. Unable to get many shots through the Islanders' defense just yet. Davidson across to McCacken. Davidson off the stick. Another chance, and he sent it wide. Watt on it in the corner, trying to spring Davidson on the cycle. Aiden McDonald on the wall, moving it across, try to thread the needle there to Chisholm on the far side. Hit a couple of skates on the way. As Aiden McDonald taken down on the play there. Going to battle on the near wall. McDonald tripped up on the play there, and that's going to be called. And so Islanders with another power play here on the tripping call. And this power play brought to you by Zutphen Contractors. And so face off in the offensive zone for the Islanders. 5-on-4 hockey. Off the draw, Watt trying to chase it down against Perry, who sidesteps the hit. Spins it off on the near side. That one gets past Chisholm momentarily, and Trenum has to pick it up behind his own goal. Sam Trenum, outlet play for Watt, up the neutral ice, picked off and cleared down. Foot race forward here as Richard looks to get a hold of it against Trenum. Trenum. Play on the wall to Aiden McDonald down the wing. McDonald hounded there. Watt trying to hold the line for the Islanders, sweeps it into the corner. McDonald lets it go across around the boards for Chisholm. McGinnis on the point. Jack McGinnis. Across for Trenum. Trenum. With pressure to try to keep the Islanders to the outside, but the Mustangs have this penalty kill. As the Islanders just moving on the periphery, looking to set something up in the center ice area, get a little better of a scoring opportunity. Not able to do so just yet. As Chisholm looking to thread the needle there, and McGinnis unable to get a stick on that. Still a minute to go in the power play. Moved across to Chisholm. Chisholm play in front and unable to get a solid crack at it there was McGinnis once again. McGinnis swings it around for Watt. Just out of position there as Chu gets a hold of it. Trying to clear. Good battle here with the Islanders. As that one taken by Trenum. Leaves it for Chisholm. Across. Here's a shot from McDonald. Deflected wide. And then a play front. They score! Lex Watt on the feed from McGinnis. And the Islanders tie the game on the power play. And just what the doctor ordered for the Islanders. And it had to be a play like that to open up the middle of the ice, giving no chance for Fraughton to get across. He did his best, but Lex Watt's not going to make a mistake on that play. Right in the wheelhouse. Perfect pass in front. Tape to tape. And into the back of the net. Intercepted by Doyle as he skates free. Doyle drops it off. Quick shot. Save made there by Forrence. Carson McCacken on the draw in the defensive zone. Up against Doyle, who skates ahead and whips a shot on goal, looking for a deflection. It hit the pad of Forrence. Onto the point to Rogers. Rogers. Quick shot, glove down by Forrence, who saw it through traffic. Face off in the offensive zone for the Mustangs. And already an adjustment by the Mustangs here in the second. They've had quite a bit more time in the offensive zone to try to work their offensive chops against the Islanders in this second period. Trying to put the Islanders on the back foot. Not easy to do as that one taken here by Ellis. Down the wing. Ellis, drag shot. He can't get it all the way through. As that one taken ahead, the Mustangs are going to move ahead with it. Ogden chips it past the defense. Chases it down against Ellis. Ellis bodies him off the puck and fires it off the glass around for Chisholm. Will Chisholm. Outlet play for McCacken. McCacken chips it into the zone, trying to chase it down as McDonald. Up against Fraughton. Fraughton shoots it to number 6 in the corner. He's hounded there by McCacken. McCacken gets it to Chisholm. Chisholm behind the goal. On the back end to the forehand, drops it to McGinnis. Johnny McGinnis holds the line to Chisholm. Moved across and just escaping the grasp of Thomas McCacken as he has to chase it down. Head fake by McCacken in neutral ice. He skates through. Thomas McCacken, stick check by McDonald. And moved on the near side to Rogers. Slightly behind him, spins it into the zone and goes for a line change. That one picked up by the Islanders. It looks like there's a delayed penalty on the play. And it's an interference call. And it's going against Thomas McCacken. McCacken protesting the call, but he'll go to the box here for 2 minutes. And so Ideal Concrete power play on the board here as the Mustangs now with the advantage, looking to regain their lead here in the second period of play. Richard on the draw for the Mustangs. Jumping up on the play is McDonald, shorthanded, skating through. Kieran McDonald looking to dance with it. As that's taken by Richard up the neutral ice. Here come the Mustangs. Richard down the wing. Nice move to the outside. Taking off the puck momentarily, but he gets it back. Hartland behind the goal. Finds Richard. To Perry on the point. Perry a shot to a screen and it finds the netting for another stoppage on the deflection.
Number 26, Thomas McCaffrey, 2 minutes for interference.
And once again, an interference penalty to Thomas McCackern for this Ideal Concrete power play. Mustangs looking to capitalize. 1:33 on the clock for the power play remains. So plenty of time that the Islanders will have to kill to try to prevent this tying marker from escaping them into another deficit as the Mustangs look to capitalize. And in games like these where the opponent is always having to throw volume at your goal and double you up in shots, you have to pick your shots as best you can and capitalize on what opportunities you do get. Mustangs did a good job of that last game, and they look to do the same here this afternoon. As a golden opportunity for them once again on the power play as Chu makes his way to neutral ice. Dumping it into the corner. Ellis trying to chase it down. Ellis on the backhand feed across to try to clear. That's picked off by Hartland. Hartland's got a highlight reel goal in that first period, as you saw. As that one taken off the wall. Ellis fires it down the ice and clears some time and space for a line change for the Islanders. Penalty killing unit, the second unit coming on the ice. Outlet play. Looking to spring McDonald. He can't get a hold of it. As McNeil clears it to Davidson and chips it ahead. Davidson hustling after it on the forecheck. Doyle picks it up for the Mustangs. Outlet play looking to spring LeBlanc, but it's too little speed on that and credit it to opponents. Davidson chasing his man down the corner. Davidson, a very intimidating player to see churning and burning towards you in that defensive end. As he looks like a man possessed every time he comes into that offensive zone to deliver the body in whatever way he can. As that one picked off. Doyle quickly a shot. Another chance to the side. Trenum off the wall looking to find Watt. Watt skating it down against Fronten. Around behind, Jake McGinnis looking to intercept. Picked off. We're back to even strength here. 5-on-5 hockey once again. The Islanders kill it off. As Rogers behind his own goal. Hounded there by Lex Watt. Drops it off for Doyle. Doyle outlet play looking to spring Bain, and he was out of real estate there. That goes all the way down for an icing call against the Mustangs. Aiden McDonald on the draw. Wins it cleanly back to the point to McNeil. McNeil round on the cycle. Play in front there as McGinnis looked to set it up. Back behind the goal again. Jake McGinnis turns with it. Looking to set up the play. Nice couple shimmy and shakes there as drops it off to Ellis on the point. Quick shot through the screen is blocked by Doyle in front. Again, the Mustangs looking to get bodies in front of those shots and block as many as they can. But that's another icing call against them as the pressure starting to mount for the Islanders in the offensive zone. But Mustangs adjusting in game here as 18 shots were the total for the Islanders in that first period. Only 3 of those were added onto the shot clock here in the second period at 21-9. The Mustangs doing a better job at keeping things a little defensively. But that one a close call for Broughton as McDonald was knocked down in front. McNeil was taking the body on Bain, who got the better of him there. Good hard battle on the near side wall. McGinnis trying to clear. Chasing it down. Rogers off the glass, past Ellis, and all the way down once again. Icing waved off here is McNeil on it on the near side. Chopped up by McGinnis, who takes the body there from number 6. Not an even match there as far as the result of that hit. Physicality mounting here in the second. As both teams looking to get a chunk out of each other here for an advantage in the intimidation department. McDonald, nice move to the inside. McDonald, and unable to corral the puck and keep it on the stick as that one kept aligned by Chisholm, but taken away by Ewan McDonald down the wing. Here he comes ahead. Ewan, a shot, and that one sails past the blocker side of Forrest. He didn't get it on the net. But here come the Mustangs in the offensive zone. Quick shot towards the goal, tipped by McDonald, but wide as Chisholm gets bodied off the puck. McDonald again, hustling there in the offensive zone. Great footwork by McDonald as he moves it into the corner. Trenham gets checked. McCackern knocked to the ice by McDonald. Chisholm moves it ahead to McGinnis. McGinnis one-on-one, tried to dance past his man in Perry. Now he battles for it in the corner against him. Just over the halfway point of regulation. McCackern across. Here come the Mustangs again, losing control of the puck. McCackern has to backtrack as number 16 is on him. Landry in the corner. Drops it to LeBlanc, unable to get a shot away. Trenham off the glass and held at the point by number 6 into the corner. Trenham for the Islanders. Hard outlet all the way down, looking to spring Chisholm. Will Chisholm on. Looks like it's called offside here, and the Islanders don't like that call. As that'll be a TV timeout before we continue play.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple.
Face off in the offensive zone for the Mustangs. LeBlanc on the draw, wins it clean back to Rogers. A quick shot, they score! On the deflection in front, Rogers with a shot from the point. I'm not sure if he's going to get credit for the goal as it was deflected on the way, but either way, that's another point for Rogers. And his defense leading 7th point of the season for his team. And it might be his goal there. And that'll make it 2-1 here for the Mustangs. Just after the TV timeout. They took that time to readjust and get a strategy for a quick chance in the offensive zone, and they regained their lead here in the second. The Islanders once again with work cut out for them here as the Mustangs have come here to play and play hard as they've been keen to capitalize on the chances they've had and done just that once again here, making life difficult for the hometown team. It can always be a mind game to play as a team when you add the shots and still get outscored in the process of the game. As spinning shot by Ellis, fought off in front by Front, rebound shot, they score! McDonald with a quick response on the rebound. Once again, the Islanders getting bodies in front of the net. And those shots on the outside through traffic have proved to be effective once again here in Game 2 of this weekend matchup. And a quick response, number 24, Kieran McDonald, potting that one on a rebound. Broughton fought off the initial one with the chest plate, but hopped up in front for Kieran McDonald right in his wheelhouse, wasting no time to follow through on the quick wrist shot over the glove hand side as Broughton rims that off the boards. Picked up by McDonald once again, spinning a shot towards the goal. Knocked out by Bouchard. Here comes LeBlanc, moving it on the near side to Rogers, who skates it in. Rogers holds on, off the backboards, around behind for Fleet in the corner. Fleet, back for Trenham. Trenham to Chisholm. Chisholm across for Hookshorst. Hookshorst churning and burning up through the offensive zone. Drops it off, looking for Fleet. And he's picked of his pocket by Landry, who skates out with it now. Landry down the wing. In the corner, dropped off. Here's a chance. Shot save made by Forrence, and he covers it. As once again, the game opening up here in the second period. Things getting a lot more wide open. And not quite as big a crowd as last contest, but possibly just as loud. And once again, the crowd on that boards by the Mustangs bench, an equal factor in this one. But the Mustangs have seen it last game and still forced overtime. This game looks, on appearances so far, to be following that momentum. As here come the Mustangs the other way, 2-on-1. Another golden opportunity shot, blocked aside by Forrence, and he holds on. As it caught him in the gear, and he holds on to it. So once again, these rush opportunities for the Mustangs are starting to mount. As they've already had their totals that they had in the first, and still plenty of time left in the second to get some more shots on goal for the Mustangs. As here they come again, a chance in front of the net, a shot, that one blocked in front. Great pressure here by the boys in blue as the Islanders looking to get out of their zone here. Watt gets body checked by Perry, who looks to sweep it in. Ellis knocked down his man to the ice. Cooper McNeil now looking to advance the play, slides it ahead to Ellis. Davidson drops it off. Here comes Davidson again in the offensive zone, swept off the puck. McNeil on it now, finds Davidson. Davidson dumps it into the corner as Watt chases it down against Perry. Watt turns, drops it off for McDonald. He gets checked, but picking it up is Watt in support. Watt turning wide, looking to switch positions there with Chisholm. Drops off to a one-timer and a save made. Rebound chance loose in front, picked off by the Mustangs defense as they skid out with it. Over to Lynch. Lynch over the line, holds on. Quick shot there is blocked. As here comes Watt looking for an outlet play and rushed a little bit too much as McCracken has to chase it down. He's checked and knocked out the puck by Rogers. Chisholm on it. Finds McGinnis. McGinnis, a sharp angle shot patted aside by Frotton. McGinnis dumps it in around the boards for the cycle play, picked up by Rogers defensively for the Mustangs. Rogers off the wall as a bank pass. Chunham receives that as Rogers looking to spring Bain loose. As Rogers on the near side hits the ceiling beam for a stoppage in play. Linesman setting up at the face-off dot. Carson McCacken on the draw. That draw won by Doyle cleanly for the Mustangs. They clear it down the ice. But another icing here on that play. Off the draw to the point over the line as Chisholm has to pick that one up. Fumbled the puck momentarily, but sweeps it ahead to McGinnis. That's moved across on the far side, dumped in the corner by the Mustangs. They look to establish a forecheck here. Lucas Chisholm on it. Outlet pass and a saucer one a little too hot to handle for McCacken as it went past him. Rogers picks it up. Getting a lot of ice time once again in this game is Rogers. And for a good reason. He was so effective in yesterday's game. Once again with 3 assists on the night in all 3 goals. As here comes McGinnis down the wing. Jake McGinnis holds onto it, sweeps it into the corner for Carson McCacken. McCacken fights off a check and holds on to it. Sweeping it in front for McGinnis. Not quite in his wheelhouse as John Hugh McGinnis now gets it deep for Jake McGinnis. Jake McGinnis trying to center it there. All three McGinnises on the ice for this line. Jake, Jack, and John Hugh. As John Hugh McGinnis sweeps it across there for Thomas McCacken. McCacken holds on. Shoots it behind the goal for McCacken. McCacken trying to find Jack McGinnis, gets Jake McGinnis instead. Back to Jack in front, a shot, and a block in front, fearless block. It's in the equipment, however, and moves to the side. Great pressure here by the Islanders near the final 5 minutes of play in the second frame. McGinnis across from McCacken. McCacken round in the corner. Jack McGinnis goes to retrieve that, and he gets checked. Will Chisholm in the corner, trying to drop it for John Hugh McGinnis, and an aggressive play by Fraughton to cover the puck there as he dove on that one. Face off in the offensive zone here for the Islanders. Lance Hookshorst, the captain on the draw. Against McDonald, a quick shot there is paddled aside. As Hartman trying to sweep it across just behind the reception of Lynch, who sweeps it ahead for Rogers. Rogers in the corner. On the near wall. Trying to get a cycle play going here for the Mustangs, which has been hard to come by in this game. Not for lack of effort, however. As Thomas McCacken dumps it into the corner. Number 6 chases it down defensively. Off the back boards. McDonald receiving that. Finds Chisholm. Chisholm steps free. Back for McDonald in front, and it's loose, and it goes wide as it went right through that blue paint. And a hard check there on McCacken after the play. And a bit of a couple blows thrown there as things getting quite chippy here in the second. And always with these games, the gamesmanship is quite a level here. Officials trying to keep things at least a portion civilized here. Once again, in these matchups, 2 home games against the same team, things get pretty chippy in that matinee. McDonald onto the point to Ellis. Ellis a quick drive, and that one blocked aside by Fraughton, but he couldn't cover it completely as that one taken here in the corner by Hookshorst once again, looking to sweep it out front. Chisholm in the corner. Will Chisholm off the boards to McNeil. McNeil cycles it back, looking to spring Will Chisholm again. Around the corner for Hunter McDonald. Hops over his stick with a funny bounce. Hookshorst receives it, drops it for Ellis. Ellis in the corner for Chisholm. Chisholm, Hunter McDonald a shot off the shoulder of Fraughton, who held the goalpost securely there. Is that one to Ellis, a shot, save, made, rebound chance in front. Looking to pick that 5-hole shot from Ellis, but closing the wickets with speed there was Fraughton as Bain looked to make a move. Carter Bain sweeps it into the corner. And a hard check behind the goal there. That gets an eruption of applause from the crowd as McDonald looks to chase it down. Number 6 on the near side, picked off by McDonald. McDonald skating in. He gets knocked to the ice along with a teammate of Richard as he took both his opponent and his own man down with that hit. It's a lot of strength to get 2 people down at once, including your own man. As that one fired by Fleet, deflected in the blue paint, and Hunter McDonald able to cash in on the rebound behind the goal for Aiden McDonald. Hunter's been on there a while. He'll have to get off quick. That's moved across. Fleet on it. Fleet across, trying to find his man, knocked off by Bain as he chases it down against Ellis. Ellis still on the ice. Ellis getting plenty of ice time for the Islanders. That's moved across to Aiden McDonald. Aiden McDonald chipping it past the defense and trying to skate it down into the offensive zone. Minute 35 remaining in the second. Taken by LeBlanc now. Game still tied at 2. LeBlanc moves across. Number 22 down the wing. Drops it off, looking to spring his man in Richard, who spins and shoots, blocked by Fleet. In front of the net for Landry, a chance, and that one blocked as well. Worked in the corner. What action here in the second. Kieran McDonald now. Chips it ahead, looking to spring Fleet. Fleet knocks it down and knocked out by Rogers there as he tries to move it ahead for Landry. He got his stick slashed out of his hands. Crowd looking for a call on that one. They're not going to get that one either as that's moved to Trenham. Trenham, saucer pass, trying to spring Fleet. Fleet follows it up. Picked up by Chisholm now. Lucas Chisholm dropping it for Colby Fleet. Stops up, trying to spring Chisholm, who was in there. Jumping up on the play as Trenham moving back, finds McDonald. Aiden McDonald chips it on the back end. Looking for Kieran McDonald, who almost got a hold of that one. There's 35 seconds left to go here in the second frame. A lob pass out to neutral ice. Hartland chases it down. Sam Hartland on the back end, feed for Richard, unable to get a handle of that as it's moved to Lex Watt, but intercepted there by Chu. Chu across, and Rogers tips it in and takes a hit from Davidson as he got the puck deep. Hard outlet all the way down, looking to spring Watt. Intercepted by Ewan McDonald, and he fires it off the glass and in deep for the Mustangs. Lawrence stops it up. Just 8 seconds remaining here in the second. Rogers holds on to it. One last chance. That one dumped into the corner. Trenham on the intercept. And that'll do it here for the second period of play. All knotted up at 2 apiece heading into the third. This second intermission brought to you by Ron McGilvery Chev Buick GMC. Whether you're looking for a new or a new-to-you vehicle, Ron McGilvery Chev Buick GMC has you covered. With a wide range of selection, amazing deals, knowledgeable and friendly staff that will get you into your dream vehicle. Visit Ron McGilvery Chev Buick GMC. We have a fight breaking out here in front of the Islanders exit area. Sorry to interrupt my advertisement there, but quite a bit of drama here as both teams gather together in front of the area here as the officials are going to have to break things up. Quite a bit of drama here at the end of the second period of play. As I didn't see it behind the play, but Fraughton seemed to have been knocked down in front of the Islanders' path towards their dressing room. As the Islanders took exception to him blocking their way to the dressing room, are getting a little too close as the gamesmanship extends here into the intermission, as this will set up likely another barn burner of a third period as the officials looks to maintain order here before we head into that third period. Goodness gracious. And once again, make sure to visit Ron McGilvery Chev Buick GMC and Ron McGilvery Certified Pre-Owned Center at 75 St. Andrew Street in Antigonish, or call at 902-863-2803, or shop online at rmggm.com. That's rmggm.com. The Islanders would also like to extend a thank you to Zeppelin Contractors and Ideal Concrete for participating in their co-branding program. In addition to being a member of the Islanders sponsorship team, they will also be sponsoring tracksuits for the 2025-26 coaching staff and players. And also a special thank you to Nova Trophy for providing the Islanders players and staff with Islanders hoodies this season. So thank you once again. And by that skirmish, we're likely in for quite an intense and very eventful third period of play. So stay tuned, folks. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back, one and all, to this third period of play. And as you would, if you kept the volume on your microphones, or your speakers rather, for that end of that second period, you would have seen the gamesmanship on display, as what could have been a full brawl at the end of that, between the second and third period, which sets up a third period which could be very chippy. So officials on high alert for this one, as the tension starting to mount in this contest. Once again, Kieran McDonald still in the box from that second period penalty. And so this power play brought to you by Zucker Contractors. On the draw, picked up by LeBlanc.
West at the end of the second period, number 24, Kieran McDonald. 2 minutes for roughing after the whistle.
And Kieran McDonald roughing after the whistle, and he was likely the candidate to push down Frotton, as Frotton made his way in front of the Islanders on their way out of off the ice surface, and so crossing the line there, which is part of the process of walking the line. Occasionally you cross it, and Kieran McDonald, one of those players who plays on the edge, takes the penalty on that one. As Rogers moves it across, quick shot by Doyle, scores! It's a power play goal, and the Mustangs make the Islanders pay here early in the third with a go-ahead goal to make it 3-2. Quick wrist shot on the power play by Doyle. And so now the pressure's on the hometown boys to try to come back in this contest. Plenty of time to do so. And they got full force on the ice now. Kieran McDonald on the faceoff, or McCacken rather on the faceoff. Carson McCacken rather. As that's moved on the far side for Hunter McDonald off his stick and fired in by Ewan McDonald as Cooper McNeil chases it down. McNeil behind the goal. Will Chisholm. That line for Perry. Perry moves it across to the wide side for Chu, who chops at it. Gets it past Ellis, and Florence having to chase it down here. Hard outlet off the body of Hunter McDonald as the Islanders chase it down. McCacken on it. He gets hooked and knocked to the ice, and that's going to draw a penalty here, as the Mustangs will go to the box for hooking. Protesting the call as Hartland has been pushing and shoving with Ellis here. As Jonah Ellis playing some mind games of his own there with the Mustangs forwards. As the Islanders now on the power play, brought to you by Ideal Concrete. Carson McCacken on the draw. On the point to Ellis. Jonah Ellis moves it across for Cooper McNeil. Down low for Carson McCacken. McCacken across to Ellis. Ellis in front for Chisholm. A backhand shot. He whiffed on it. McNeil on it now. Moves it across for McCacken. McNeil again. Holds on the point. Back down. McCacken a shot through the seam and goes through the blue paint and wide, as picked up on the point again by Ellis, who moves it across for Chisholm. Slowing down the pace here of the Islanders, try to set things up. McNeil holds on to it. Spins with it. Drops it off for Chisholm. Will Chisholm onto the point for McCacken. McCacken looking to dance. Almost knocked off the puck. Finds Chisholm. Will Chisholm back on the point. Minute 15 remaining in the power play. Down to Chisholm. Islanders being kept to the outside by the pressure. A shot there from the point, blocked in front. Another chance. On to the point, McNeil, a shot. Sails over the goal. Rogers off the glass. Held at the line there by McNeil. McNeil off the skate of Chisholm, picked up by Ellis. Moves it across for a chance for McCacken. A shot. Pad save there by Frotton. Fights that one off and fired down the ice by the Mustangs. 43 seconds left to go in the power play as Ellis moves behind the goal. Skate to stick, skating through the neutral ice. Ellis fires it off the wall into the corner, and he goes for a line change. Aiden McDonald leaves it from McCacken, back to McDonald. Finds Davidson. Davidson back for McDonald. Aiden McDonald. On the point to McCacken. McCacken holds on. Back to McDonald, sweeping it in front, rebound chance to the side. What a save that was! Or a block rather by Chu. I thought it went to the goal, but Chu dove in front of that. As Broughton was sprawling with the blocker. And he didn't even let it get to the net. As that one taken in by McCacken, drops it off for John Hugh McGinnis. In comes big number 3, dumping it into the corner. Stopped up by Broughton, who clears it all the way down the ice. Great defensive play by the Mustangs netminder as he cleared the puck all the way down. McGinnis behind the goal, wraps it around. Intercepted by number 16, pass in front, a quick shot, rebound chance, and a fought off there by Forrence, who covers. With a whistle, penalty over here. The Mustangs have killed it off. So back to even strength, face up in the offensive zone for the boys in red and blue. Parker LeBlanc on the draw against Colby Fleet. Off the tie-up, picked up by the Islanders. Lex Watt up the right wing side. Centers it there for Hookshorst. One more pass for Chisholm, taken by Watt now. Watt spins, trying to get a shot away. That was blocked by Ogden. He gets it across to number 16 down the wing. Lowers the shoulder, protects the puck to the... Oh, and a great pad save there. Why? Forrence, as that's moved on. The far side, Trenham outlet pass. That finds Hookshorst, moving in stride. Chips it into the corner, Fleet chasing it down. Fleet trying to get his man off the puck. Watt on it. Number 16 turns with it there. Backhands it off the wall to LeBlanc, intercepted by Fleet. They're going to continue the cycle. Watts check to the ice. And that's going to be whistled down, likely on a cross check, and it's going to be that, just that. As the Islanders back on the power play, this time brought to you by Zephyrin Contractors. Another opportunity for the hometown boys to tie this one yet again. And once again, the Mustangs keeping the Islanders on the back foot as they've climbed to 3 leads already in this game. The Islanders are going to tie it for a 3rd time in this contest. Carson McCacken on the draw. That one to Chu in the corner. Perry on it. Checked by McDonald. Hunter McDonald and Kieran McDonald coming together on the attack. McCacken on the near side. McCacken holds on. Trying to slide it towards Hunter. Stops it up. McCacken on the point to Ellis. Ellis moves it across for McNeil. Back for Ellis, calling for the pass. Down low, quick shot by McCacken. Save made by Broughton. And McDonald aggressive on that rebound chance. So 28 seconds killed off so far on that penalty by the Mustangs. So another 75% or so to go in time allotted to the power play. As McCacken on the draw once again. McCacken on it. Turns, slides it to Ellis. Ellis across for McNeil. Cooper McNeil across for Ellis. Jonah Ellis on the point. Across to McCacken. McCacken shot blocked by Chu. And it's in the stands. Nobody knows where it is. And that one will be whistled down. And a partial power play unit line change here for the Islanders. Excuse me, a full unit line change. Once again, this power play brought to you by Zephyrin Contractors. Colby Fleet on the draw. Wins it back to Trenham. Trenham down low. Gonna bump it back as Fleet holds on. Fleet moves it across. Chisholm drops it for Trenham. Trenham shoots, and that one deflected wide. Another shot cleared down the ice by the Mustangs. Power play halfway through, cleared all the way down. A great pass ahead by Forrence, finds Hookshorst, unable to get past the defense, however, as Fleet picks it up and he resets. Fleet drops it off for Trenham. Trenham dances past Doyle. Sweeps it down for Fleet again. Unable to get a clean zone after just yet of the Islanders. Will Chisholm off the ice. Davidson follows it up. Chops at it against Richard. Davidson hustling after it. Forced to be reckoned with in that defensive end is Ryan Davidson. As across to Will Chisholm. One-timer for Hookshorst, and he caught the heel of the blade, not getting full wood on it when it wasn't able to direct it onto the goal. As on to the point to Trenum now. Holds it. Moves it across for Chisholm. Back for Trenum. Trenum shoots through a screen, and that one blocked in front. Or blocked aside rather by Florence. Not Florence rather, but Broughton. Davidson in the corner. Davidson behind the goal. Wrap-around try, and that one blocked off. Power play is over for the Islanders. Back to the inside. Oh, a save that was by Broughton on the deflection with the right pad. As that's moved ahead for Doyle. Trenum on the hustle after it. Doyle picks it up. Playing for a one-timer, and fanning on it was Richard as he had an open side. Florence coming across with the pad to try to stop that one, but he didn't even need to make the save. As Richard was unable to get a clean one-timer off, as here comes Aiden McDonald down the wing. McDonald chips it past number 6, taken by Broughton. Broughton misplays it. McDonald after it in the corner, trying to center it in front. That one gets past John Hugh McGinnis, and he has to chase it down for the Islanders. John Hugh McGinnis working up on the near wall. Hustling after it, one hands it to Jake McGinnis, who dumps it into the corner. Jack McGinnis trying to center to Aiden McDonald, unable to do so, as that's picked up here by Chew. As he skates out with it now. Off the boards and into the corner. Here comes Bain chasing it down, and play whistle down here on the icing. The shot's a little closer in this one. 35 for the Islanders and 20 for the Mustangs. Mustangs have the advantage thus far in goals. At a singular goal lead here in the third. Plenty of hockey left to play here. As you got to feel if you're the Mustangs, who were so close in that Saturday night contest, you want to do your goalie Broughton good of his stellar performance both last night and today with a victory of your own here on the road. It could be a huge turning point in the season for the Mustangs should they get on a roll after this one, should they win it. As here come down the wing, a shot, stick save there for the Islanders as that's dumped into the corner. John Hugh McGinnis after it. On the near side to McDonald. McDonald down the wing. Stick check by Ewan McDonald as Rogers picked it up, sweeps it around. Hunter McDonald looking to intercept. Goes all the way down to Cooper McNeil. Cooper McNeil off the wall. Lynch clears it out. McNeil across for Watt. Watt working himself free. Watt to the center and pass and off a skate. Trying to find McDonald and unable to do so. It went all the way across. Here's a chance for Watt again. Dancing free and unable to get the shot away. Hunter McDonald on it. Spinning. Puts it in front. It's deflected. Unable to cash in the Islanders just yet, but relentless pressure at the moment in the offensive zone. Mustangs just looking to get out of this shift alive as Ellis tries to work it across. Ellis on back onto the point. Relentless pressure here once again by the Islanders. Desperate to clear. Here come the Mustangs. Outlet play. Finds a chance for Hartland, unable to make a move past Ellis as he body checks his man on the wall. Over for McNeil. Cooper McNeil. Moving up through neutral ice. Hounded by Hartland. That one catches the ceiling beam once again for a stoppage. Face off in neutral ice just outside of the Mustang zone. Off the draw, taken by Trenum. Trenum towards the goal, trying to catch Broughton sleeping. Davidson picks it up. Hard check, or collision rather, between Davidson and Hookshorst there. As that's moving on the near side. Trenum trying to pinch, unable to do so. It goes all the way down. Lucas Chisholm having to chase it down on defense for the Islanders. Hounded by Landry, picked off. Centering pass, knocked off by Kieran McDonald as he works it off the boards all the way down for icing against the Islanders. You gotta feel if you're the Mustangs, you really do want to put another shot past Florence to try to really plant a seed of doubt here in the Islanders. They already have the doubt planted firmly with this goal lead here at the halfway point of the third, but just for a little bit of mental breathing space for the Mustangs, an insurance marker would be all they needed to quiet this hometown crowd a little bit and really put the Islanders on the back foot. Is that one a bank attempt there? The Islanders still looking to press here near the halfway point of the third. Just over it, rather. Kieran McDonald steps free, shoots, and a blocker save held by Fraughton. Once again, Fraughton coming to put his best foot forward and then some in this contest. Has been very aggressive on the top of that blue paint, as well as the young men in front of them trying to get in those shooting lanes and block those shots. After that first period, they've had a lot more success in getting ahead of those shooting lanes and preventing the Islanders from getting those shots through the traffic. TV timeout coming shortly here.
Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local. Visit jrsons.ca and tell them High Button Sports sent you. John Ross & Sons, scrap metal made simple. Tonight's stream is brought to you by John Ross & Sons, Atlantic Canada's scrap metal pros. Cleaning out the garage, job site, or shop, turn your steel, copper, and aluminum into cash. Drop off at their HRM locations or book a convenient bin for bigger hauls. Family-owned, environmentally responsible recycling that keeps our community clean and jobs local.
Offensive zone draw for the Islanders here. Just over the halfway point of the final frame of regulation. Is that one taken ahead by Bain? Sweeps it three. Trenum on it. Hounded by Ogden. Trenum behind the goal. Cross on the far side for Chisholm. Outlet play for Hookshores. Hookshores. 1-on-2. Hookshores a shot, and that one blocked in front by Rogers. Rogers off the back wall of the glass. Intercepted by Chisholm. Chisholm in front of the net, and that one deflected wide. Kieran McDonald onto the point to Trenum. Through his legs and back out of the zone as the Islanders have to tag up on the offside. Kieran McDonald after it on the Rogers off the ceiling beam once again. Another offensive zone face-off here for the Islanders. Carson McCacken on the draw. Fleet centers for McCacken, a quick drive, and that one fought off with the blocker hand of Fraughton. Fleet working himself on the wall. Slides it to John Hugh McGinnis. John Hugh McGinnis drops it there for Will Chisholm, taking off the puck as that's on the far side. Out to neutral ice, picked up here by McCacken. McCacken, body checked on McDonald, moves it ahead for Carson McCacken as Chew chases it down here for the Mustangs. Off the wall, held at the line there by John Hugh McGinnis, chopped up by Chisholm into the corner for McCacken. McCacken against Chew, turning with it. Chew takes it for a ride into the boards, and he's going to get called on that. Or rather, McCacken. That's a holding call. It's going to go against Chew. Delayed call, just a slight delay in making the call, but either way, the Islanders are going to be on the power play once again here. Another golden opportunity brought to you by Ideal Concrete. So Chew going to the box here. Another Ideal Concrete power play here. And at an ideal time for the Islanders at this stage of the game. Still plenty of time left to play. Taken by Will Chisholm, moves across. McNeil on the point. Down low for Will Chisholm. Across for McCacken. McCacken down for Chisholm. Chisholm behind the goal, slides it to Fleet. Fleet a drive, and that one off deflected into the netting. But great puck movement once again by the Islanders on this power play. And still once again looking to get into those sight lines of Breton to take away his eyes here. As Ellis, a quick shot, that one sails over the goal. Drive there by Chisholm, and it hopped over, or McCacken rather, hopped over his stick on the bounce. So he was not able to follow through with any sort of efficiency there as Ellis picks it on the point, moves it across for McNeil. Neal down low for McCacken, in front of the net, and that one paddle aside. Another chance for Ellis, shot. Save made, a rebound chance. McCacken in the corner. Great pressure on the power play with the Islanders. Swept to the side, shot, what a save that was by Breton with the stick. As he dove out with the paddle, he lost the goal stick in the process of desperation to make that save. What an unbelievable stop that was. And if they're able to hold on to this lead and win this game, you'll remember that save on the power play by Nolan Breton. As that one on the near side, Fleet chasing it down. He's got Will Chisholm with him. Ahead to Chisholm, backhand shot, and a save made by Breton again, closing the angle. Just over the halfway point of this power play. Power play unit line change for the Islanders. As McCacken visibly frustrated after that play. Hook short on the draw. Over to Watt on the point. Lex Watt across for Trenham. Trenham finds McDonald a shot. That one goes wide. Watt in the corner. Turning with it. Trenham on the point. Across for McDonald. Back to Trenham. Sam Trenham. Hunter McDonald. Shot from distance. Patted aside by Breton once more. On to his defense and down the ice it goes. Just 24 seconds to go in the power play. Trenham turns behind the goal, banks it off the wall to Hunter McDonald. He had the game winner last night in overtime. He skates down the wing. Sweeps it into the corner on the forecheck. Lynch gets a hold of it, sweeps it around against the grain bid, and that one all the way down by the Mustangs defense. And they're going to kill this one off successfully. Another successful penalty kill, but the Islanders now in the offensive zone again. McDonald chips it ahead for Hookshorst behind the goal. Hookshorst looking to dance there. Finds McDonald in front. Blocked. Another chance. Watt fans on the follow-through. And now here come the Mustangs down 3-on-2 the other way. Doyle with it. Finds Ogden. Ogden back in a chance for Bain. A shot. Save made. A rebound chance, and it's whistled down. The puck was loose, but the official lost sight of it. But that will gain an offensive zone draw for the Mustangs. The Islanders putting volume once again on Nolan Breton, who's made 38 saves thus far in this contest out of 40 shots. And the Mustangs hoping for such trends to continue in these final 6 minutes of play, as they might need him to continue stonewalling the Islanders for the remainder of this game, unless they can get an insurance goal to really quiet the momentum the Islanders have here in this third period to try to crack Breton once again. They did it last game. Can they do it again in this one? McDonald. Of course, the shoe's on the other foot in this situation, as the Islanders are the ones with the lead in the third period last game, and the South Shore Mustangs had to tie it. This time, the Islanders in their same situation that the Mustangs were in last night, as that's on the near side wall. McCacken turning with it now. Spins. Tries to gain a step here in the neutral ice as he looks free. Dumps it into the corner. Rogers chasing it down. Off the near boards, picked off by McDonald. Cuts pass from McGinnis, quick drive, and that one loose in front. Fought off by Breton again. McGinnis a drive from the point, sticked aside by Breton. McGinnis around behind. Play in front, McDonald shoveling it towards the goal and finally covered as the crowd gathers in front, and quite a few pushes and shoves. Healthy skirmishes here as Breton involved in the play here. Not sure if there are going to be penalties called on this play here, as things getting quite hairy here at the Al McGinnis Sports Center. And I might as well note that the intensity of both of these games have made it such that what skirmishes there have been less than what was expected by the intensity of the play. As chippy as things have been, they could have been a lot chippier in these two contests, judging by how hard, fast, and aggressive both these teams have been playing in both of these contests. Neither team wants to let off the gas pedal in any respect in both of these games. As here comes McNeil down the wing. Trying to gain a step. Took his man down on the play, and the Mustangs looking for a penalty on that one. They're not going to get it. As Chu spins off the board, stopped up by McNeil. Finds Fleet in the corner. Fleet heads it to Davidson. Ryan Davidson tries to make a move to the center area. Picked off by Ellis. Davidson was knocked down in the process. Fine behind the goal to Fleet. Fleet with a wraparound chance. It's by the goalpost. And it's whistled down as Broughton covered it up. Net off the moorings, and another skirmish here by the net. As the officials are going to have to step in once more to lay down the law here. And Broughton getting a couple well-deserved stick taps from his defense in this game. Carson McCackern on the draw against Doyle. Doyle's got the go-ahead goal for the Mustangs, but he gets tossed from this defensive zone draw. On the tie-up, onto the point to Ellis. Ellis chips it around the boards for the cycle play. Davidson in front of the net, a quick shot, save made by Broughton. He covers it up and dives on that loose puck for another whistle. Carson McCackern on the tie-up. Picked off by Rogers. Rogers off the glass and down the ice. Trenum on it. Looking for an icing call here. They're not going to get it. That's across to Lucas Chisholm. Chisholm, hard outlet up the ice to Fleet. Intercepted by Doyle there, but it still goes in the corner. As Broughton fires it off the wall. Great pass there by the goalkeeper. As it's up ahead to Bain. Bain down the wing. Carter Bain to the inside. Knocked out by the defense and Trenum as he spins behind the goal. Hounded there by Ogden. Dropping it off to Chisholm. Chisholm off the wall to Davidson. Puck escapes him and fired down into the corner by the Mustangs once more for a line change here. Time starting to tick away down to the final 3 of this third period of play. Pressure starting to mount for the Islanders. They're looking for that game-tying goal as Hookshore skates in. Towards the goal, across to Chisholm. Chisholm in front of the net. That one chopped out and wide. And on the near side wall. Can the Mustangs hang on? As that's moved ahead to Richard. Richard in the corner. Chisholm knocks him off the puck and takes it behind his own goal. Hard outlet off the glass and neutral ice. Chasing it down is Will Chisholm trying to beat the icing here. He does so. He gets on it in the corner. Behind the goal. To a chance for McDonald. Fought off by Broughton. What a save that was. Highlight reel save after a highlight reel save for Nolan Broughton here in the third. Foster Chisholm springs ahead. Hookshore's trying to dance. Hookshore's on the corner. Knocked off the puck by Rogers around the near side. Ellis looking to hold the line. He does so. Jonah Ellis. Florence looking for the signal to make his way to the bench. LeBlanc. And puck is touched up here by the Mustangs, and the net is off the moorings here. 2:06 left to play. At 42-21, the Islanders once again have exactly doubled up the shots of the Mustangs at this stage of the hockey game. I hate to sound like a broken record, but once again, the story of this contest has been Nolan Broughton, number 35 in goal for the Mustangs. 2:06 remaining on the clock. Florence in the Islanders' goal, waiting for his signal from the bench to make his way to that bench to get the extra attacker on for the Islanders. Across for Ellis. Ellis, a shot from distance all the way through, blocked by Rogers. Ellis stops the clearing attempt, settles it down. Touch play in front for Watt. Off a stick, McCackern to drive. That one's fought off as well. Out in the corner for Hunter McDonald. Delayed penalty on the way. One-time shot. Rebound chance. Fall off again and covered. Chance of an open side. A shot. That one off the side of the goal, and that one covered up. It's a delayed penalty on the way here. As Fraughton looks to be injured on the play. And some tense moments here. And it looks like a bad injury here for Fraughton. I'm not going to show it on camera, but could be a bad cut here on the play. And so a moment of tense silence here at the Al McGuinness for goaltender Nolan Fraughton, who's been absolutely stellar in this game. It's a huge loss at this stage for the Mustangs if this is the case and Fraughton's out of the game. Patterson will likely have to come in relief at this stage of the hockey game. Penalty on the play was called to the Mustangs. So the Islanders will have a power play here, and one of the parents in attendance helping out with some first aid, jumping over that glass to assist Nolan Fraughton. That's jumping into action there. A great act of service there. And we'll just mute the microphone for a moment here as we get things settled. Back in a moment, folks. And Nolan Fraughton makes his way to the dressing room after some first aid assistance by Barb McDonald, the mother of Islanders forward Hunter McDonald, who had the game winner last night. Great act of service. As now Ryder Patterson comes in relief of Fraughton with a minute 37 on the clock. The goaltender pulled and a 6-on-3 advantage for the Islanders. Quite a task ahead of Patterson, who's been cold all game long, sitting on the bench in potential for relief of Fraughton. And now he's going to have to face possibly the toughest minute 37 seconds of his season with the pressure on the line of immense proportions as the Islanders have a 3-man advantage here with the goaltender pulled. Talk about pressure. As the injury was a cut on, looked to be on the hand of Nolan Fraughton, possibly getting a skate there. And so that is a huge loss, should the injury be quite serious, and seemingly so by the pause and reaction. But now the Mustangs will rely on Ryder Patterson, number 1. And this could be a huge character moment in this season for the South Shore Mustangs if they're able to survive this minute 37 and earn themselves a victory here. It'll be one of the most hard-fought victories I think I've seen as a broadcaster should they win this one. And these two games have been something to behold this weekend. I'm really, truly blessed to be able to do this job for all of you at home, as well as the fans in attendance here, and all these talented players here on the ice are the real stars here. As now the Islanders look to tie things up here. 6-on-3 advantage. Colby Fleet on the draw. Off the tie-up, taking to Trenum. Trenum on the point. Across to Chisholm, back to Trenum. Trenum waits, shoots, looking for a deflection. That one goes wide. Chisholm on the wall. Across to Trenum, some tense moments here. Trenum on the point, steps free. Looks to set things up. On to the point to Chisholm, a quick shot. That one deflected wide. 1:10 remaining. Moved across to Fleet. Fleet waits. Pass across, open side, another pass in front, that one goes wide. Great battle here. Another pass in front, Aiden McDonald able to clear. Shot down the ice all the way down and wide. But with the penalty kill in effect, no icing is called. 50 seconds remaining, under a minute remaining here as Fleet takes it in. McDonald skates 3, shoots, deflected into the netting for another stoppage in play. 44.6 on the clock. Can the Mustangs hold on? Still 1:07 remaining in the advantage for the Islanders, so this will last the remainder of the period. And once again, pressure is on. And the South Shore Mustangs calling an understandable timeout here to try to gather themselves mentally for the task at hand. Have killed off the first little chunk of that final minute 37, just 44 left on the clock. The timeout has come to an end. Patterson makes his way back to the goal. Can't imagine what he's feeling in goal here. 44 seconds remaining. Colby Fleet on the draw. Tied up, trying to clear, unable to do so. Trenum on the point, fans on the attempt, and it goes out to neutralize. Pressure on now. 33 seconds remaining as Trenum skates it in. Drops it off to Hunter McDonald. Holds on to it. Across to Trenum, a shot. Deflected on goal. A rebound chance in front. Swift on goal. That one goes wide. Fired at. Unable to clear. Islanders again. Trenum. Fleet a shot. Save. Rebound chance. And loose in front. Through the blue paint. Onto the point. 15 seconds to go. Hunter McDonald. Or McDonald rather. Aiden McDonald. Onto the point. Shot by Trenum. Blocked. Fearlessly there by Ewan McDonald. Another chance. One time McDonald deflected wide. Just 2 seconds and one swept on goal. That goes wide. Into the corner. And the Mustangs hold on to win this one. Unbelievable gutsy performance here by the South Shore Mustangs. A well-deserved victory here on a heroic performance, including a injury there by Nolan Froughton, and Ryder Patterson coming on in relief in a high-pressure situation. The Mustangs rise to occasion defensively in what could have been the highest pressure moment of their whole regular season thus far. A great character win for this group as they come in hostile territory. A great contest even Saturday night. This one, an even better one for the Mustangs, as they got the moral victory last night by forcing the game in overtime. This time they get the full victory as they win this one at 3-2 in regulation for the big 2 points for them. Congratulations to the South Shore Mustangs on this contest win in what has been an incredible weekend of hockey here at the Al McGuinness Sports Center. I'm Brendan Maloney from High Button Sports, thanking you all very much for tuning in to this contest. We'll see you in the next one.